Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn regarding the sociology subject in that unit number 8, and the unit name is types of communities in India. In that we will consider rural, urban and regional. So here in this below mentioned pictures you can see there are different kinds of communities in India. So we will learn one by one. So firstly, the content that this much content we will include in this chapter. So types of communities will include features of village community and characteristics of Indian villages, and particularly in that panchayat system and social dynamics. Apart from that, we will going to learn regarding community development project and planning, changes in Indian rural life, availability of health facilities in rural and its impact on health and health practices. And then we will go with the urban community. We'll learn the features of urban community. After that, we'll see the growth of cities, that means urbanization and its impact on health and health practices. After that, we will going to learn regarding the major urban problems, the basic problems which are seen under the urban slum areas. And after that, we'll see the regional problems and its impact on health. So this is the content we will going to learn in this chapter. Now these much key terms are necessary to learn before going into the chapter. So these are the key terms which are very important for this chapter. So we'll go with the first one. The first key is community. So community basically is what? The human population living with a limited geographical area, that is known as community. The second one terminology is Gram Panchayat. So Gram Panchayat having executive members of the Gram Sabha, and this is how it becomes Gram Panchayat. Then comes community development. So it's economic and social progress of community, that is known as community development. Then the fourth terminology is urban community. So it is an area with high density of population. Where the density of population is high, that community is known as urban community. Then the fifth one is Gram Sabha, that all the adults of village is known as Gram Sabha. And next, these are the short forms, IRDP. So this IRDP, that means integrated. I stands for integrated, R stands for rural, D stands for development, and P stands for program. So basically IRDP is integrated rural development program. And then next one is DRDA. So here also D stands for district, R stands for rural, again D stands for development, and the last A for agency. So basically it is District Rural Development Agency. IRDP is Integrated Rural Development Program and DRDA is District Rural Development Agency. And the last one is GKY, that means Ganga. G is for Ganga, K stands for Kalyan, and Y stands for Yojana. So basically GKY is Ganga Kalyan Yojana. So these are the important terms for this chapter. Now we'll see the community. What do you mean by community? So basically community is defined as a social group. They have we feeling that yes, this is our, that we feeling and living in a given area. So basically this is the definition of community. It is defined as a social group having we feeling and living in a given specific area. According to Landberg, there are so many various definitions which is given by so many sociologists. So we'll see one by one. According to Landberg, community is a human population living within a limited geographic area and carrying on a common interdependent life. So according to Landberg, this is community. And then Kingsley has defined community. So he says that the smallest territorial group that can embrace all aspects of social life, that is community. According to Green Arnold, a community is cluster of people. Cluster, that means a bunch of people. So community is cluster of people living within a contiguous area who share a common way of life. So if we take any one community, there will be certain common interests. There will be certain common way that they are living. So that common that they are sharing is a community. So according to Green Arnold, it is a cluster of people living within a contiguous area who share a common way of life. From these definitions, it can be concluded that community includes. So we have seen these much definitions, and this is the conclusion that which community is. So community is having common living that they are sharing. There will be group of people, of course. Then there will be a common culture that they will celebrate or they will believe in that. Then common interdependent life will be there, and the limited geographical area. So these all consist in the community. So this is what community is. Now community organizations. So human communities have been classified on the basis of size and density of the population, and they are classified as, the first number is neighborhood, second one is village, third one is city, and the fourth one is region and world community. So firstly we'll see the neighborhood. What is neighborhood? The people living and residing near your house within a particular geographical area, that is known as neighborhood. The child comes in contact with neighborhood, which is the first community. So whenever the child borns, so after a few days they'll come in contact with the neighborhood, their neighbor. So that is the first community for the child, that is the neighborhood. According to Anderson and Parker, neighborhood is loose integration of several family groups, that is the neighborhood. It can be both. It can be city neighborhood and it can be village neighborhood also. So there are two neighborhoods, city and village, according to the regional geographical area. So we'll see the first, city neighborhood. What is city neighborhood? People may or may not know about the people living in neighborhood because of not having close contact or no contact. So in city, the people who are living in the cities, they are having not so much close contacts to their neighbors or very less contact with the neighbors, that is the city neighborhood. And it means that in such cities, the neighborhood as a community does not exist. So according to here, they feels that neighborhood as a community does not exist in the city area. Then we see the village neighborhood. So in villages, what happens? Peoples are well acquainted, live in close with each other as compared to city area, know each other and have immediate contact with their neighbors. It has been seen that women and children like to live in neighborhood more than men. So if we go age wise or if we go gender wise, so women and children, they are the vulnerable people, so they like more to have neighborhood as compared to the men. Neighborhood quarrels are common and gradually are due to children, livestock, boundary wall and insulting remarks. So this is about village neighborhood. Now we'll see the different communities. So firstly, the first community is village community. So village community is a small area in small population which follows agriculture not only as an occupation but also as a way of life. So if you go in villages, you will find so many people who are working for the agriculture department. So this village community is a small area with a small population. They are living in a small population which follows agriculture, but it is not only their occupation, it is the way of life that they are living in a village. So agriculture is a way of living for the village community. So village community is the oldest permanent community, as we all know. So let's see how this emergence has came. So emergence of village, the earliest human communities were migratory community. Migratory, that means transferring communities. Later this became stationary, that means a steady, stationary with the knowledge and skill of agriculture as the source of food. The villages emerged, which signified that man has passed from nomadic mode of collective life to the settled one, and each human race or nation has its period of village community. It is thought that villages existed 5,000 years ago. So this is the emergence of the village community. We know that villages existed 5,000 years ago. It is difficult to form a precise definition of the term village. So we cannot have any clear and precise definition for the village. But generally it is understood that to mean a small area with small population, that is a village community, which follows agriculture not only as an occupation that already we have seen, but they are the way of life for the village community, and it is the oldest permanent community of men. Now we'll see the definition. So firstly, the definition of village we'll see. The first definition of village is it consists of people living in a limited physical area who have common interests and common ways of satisfying them. And the second definition is a village community or rural community. So village community is also known as rural community. This community is a cluster of people, that means bunch of people living within a narrow territorial radius who share a common way of life, that is the village community. So these are different both definitions of village. Whichever you feels easy, you can remember that. So both are good definitions to easier remember. Now we'll see the features of village community. So there are so many different features that can define the village community. We'll see one by one. So these are these many features. So the first one is a sense of unity. They'll have the sense of unity. We'll see one by one. Second one is intimate relation. Third one is common culture. Fourth is joint participation. Fifth is close neighborhood relations. Sixth is joint family. Seven is deep faith in religion and duties. 8 is away from evils of modern civilization and simple. 9 hardworking. 10 hospitality. And 11 high moral values. We'll see one by one. The first one is a sense of unity. So we know that the people, they are living in villages, they have sense of unity more compared to the city people. So villagers have a sense of unity. All the families in the village are united and share their sorrows and joys together. Whichever they are feeling, if it is happiness, if it is any festival, if it is any sorrowness, if there is any joy, if there is any sadness, they will share to one another. So they have that sense of unity. They also unite themselves to protect themselves from the invader. So this is about sense of unity. So the village people are having more sense of unity compared to the city people. Second definition, second one feature is intimate relation. So here the villagers have intimate relations with each other and they know each other personally as compared to city area, because in the city area they are not having that much intimate relationships with the neighborhoods or with each other. So they have less intimacy with the different people surrounding their area. So these intimate relations are better in the village community. Then comes common culture. The people of village have common culture that they are sharing. Even customs and conventions of villagers are common. So basically they are celebrating their common culture. This is for the village community. Then comes joint participation. Whatever the task is there, they will do with each other only. So there will be a joint participation in them. The villagers jointly organize religious activities. If it is religious activities, if it is any kind of other activities apart from religious, they will take part in these activities and they will jointly participate in them. So the joint participation is seen more in the village community. The next is close neighborhood relations. In villages, neighborhood is of great importance. They feel that the neighbors are our first god. So in villages, neighborhood is of great importance. There is not enough of individuality. The village people pay attention to their neighbors and they assist each other with any of the tasks, with any of the activities. So this is the close neighborhood relation in the village community. Then comes joint family. In villages, still joint family system exists as for their occupation agriculture. They require the cooperation of all the family members. So there will be a joint family. So this joint family is seen more in the village community as compared to the city community because of the many kind of disputes and many kind of variations of the individuals. So joint family is more seen in the village communities. And then comes deep faith in religion and duties. The villagers' occupation is mostly agriculture, and it depends on the nature that in which nature they are living. So the villagers have an attitude of fear towards natural forces and starts worshipping. So they have deep faith in that religion, and they have faithful duties about their work because they are living in natural areas. So they have that fear, or they have the attitude about that fear that some kind of natural forces are there which can delete us or deplete us or deplete our productions, etc. So they have that deep faith in the religion, and because of that they start worshipping for their god, and these shows their faith in religion. Then comes away from evils of modern civilization and simple. So the villagers are very simple and sober. If we compare like in food, they are having a very simple food and sober food. They are not having any hi-fi or any spicy or any modern food. They are having a simple food. They are having simple thali in which they are having their food. They are having their dress sense very simple. So everything they are having is very simple and sober. Their behavior is natural and it is not artificial. They live peaceful life and are far away from the evils of modern civilization. They actually not love the modern civilization. They will not love to urbanization. They will love their simplicity in the nature only. Then comes hardworking. The villagers are sincere, free from mental conflicts, and hardworking and laborious. If you go in any kind of village, you will see the people are so sincere. The people are very free from mental conflicts. They are not having so much stress on their mind 24/7. And they are so hardworking for their duties and responsibilities, and they are very laborious. They are doing their work for like more than 17 hours, more than 18 hours by 24. So they are they are doing laborious work, but they are hardworking for their duties. And then comes hospitality. The villagers show great hospitality towards the guest. If any guest is coming to their home, they are having a great hospitality for them. Their dealings are not rough. They are having very soft heart for that, but always they welcome the other persons with smile. They are not welcoming with rough or harsh words. They are always welcoming their guest with a little bit smile on their face. So they are having a hospitality with a great interest. Then comes high moral values. So the villagers have high morality and their life is being governed by norms. They are having certain norms and rules and regulations for their life, that yes, I have to wake up early in the morning, like at 5 a.m. They will wake up by 5 a.m. So this is just a little example, but there are so many norms that they are governing by themselves, and they are living with their high moral values for their lives. So these all were the features. Now we'll see the factors of village community. So the first factor of village community is land. We will see one by one in detail. The first factor is land, second is water, third is climate, fourth is condition of agriculture, fifth is economy, and the sixth is social factors. Now we'll see one by one. The first factor of the community is land. So this land is the most important topographical factor which affects the village community most. It is difficult to carry on agriculture on land which is rocky and uneven. If the land is unfertile, if the land is not fruitful for their agriculture purpose, and sandy villages cannot easily develop there. That is why that there are very few villages in the desert of Sahara, because there are so many sandy villages surrounding them, whereas we find villages at every 2 or 3 miles in the plains of Gangas and Yamuna, because the land is fertile, so the people can live there very easily and their agriculture purpose can be solved there. So in the Sahara desert we cannot see we'll see very few villages, but in the plains of Ganga and Yamuna river we'll see every so many villages with every 2 or 3 miles. So this is about land. Then the second factor is water. Water is very important. It is a dire need of agriculturists for cultivation of the food. So if water is scarce, not much use can be made of even the most fertile land. So water is very important. Even it is very important for all the beings, but then only this agriculture has some great importance for the water. In the desert where water is scarce, villages are scattered far and wide. Then the third factor is climate. An appropriate temperature climate is the most favorable for the growth of agriculture, as we all know. So if the climate is favoring, so the agriculture will be in the fruitful or the beneficial. When the climate is not appropriate for the agriculture purpose, so there will be the less production or the less growth of the agriculture. Then fourth one is condition of agriculture. If farming yields a fair amount of production, if it is giving a fair amount of production which you are expecting, village community will be prosperous. As the amount of production will be decreasing, the village community's prosperity will be also decreasing, because the main occupation of the villagers are the only agriculture. So this is also the important factor, condition of agriculture. Then comes economy. If the village has the facility of getting money in times of need, it will be a favorable condition for the growth of village community. Cottage industries play a very important factor in the economic growth of the community. So economy is very important for the village community. Then comes social factors. Among these factors may be mentioned the factors of peace, security, occupation, intelligence and labor. These all are the factors which can affect the village community. Now we'll see the characteristics of Indian villages, as we are living in India. So we have such extreme characteristics for the Indian villages. So we'll see one by one. Indian villages is one of unit of Indian social culture. Approximately 70 to 80% of total population live in villages in India still. The villages have been classified into 3: small size, medium sized and large sized villages. So this is the classification among the Indian villages: small, medium and large. The population of small villages below 500. So to which we will call the small village. So the population, if it is below 500 people, then it is known as a small village. Medium and large size villages have population 2000 to 5000 and equal or over 5000 respectively. So if the village population is having 2 to 5000, that will be known as medium, and if it is over 5000 or equal, then it will be known as large sized villages. The villages have the following characteristics. Now we'll see the characteristics of Indian villages. So the first characteristic of Indian village is socially or economically connected to neighborhood cities. Earlier in the 19th century, the villages were isolated and self-sufficient, as all the essential needs were satisfied in village itself. So they were not dependent on the city area. But with the development of means of transportation and communication, the barrier between cities and villages have been broken. Then second one is structure of simplicity, calmness and peace. Villages are known for this only, structure of simplicity, calmness and peace. So in villages the atmosphere is very simple, it is very calm and peaceful for the population. There is rare any humdrum activity of modern civilization. The villagers have simple life, dressed simply and live in mud walled houses. So if you go in the villages, they'll have the simple houses which is having a mud wall, and they will have their dress sense very simple and very simple life. But now these houses have given place to well designed buildings. Fashion has taken its place in the life of villagers. Even the music of radio and television can be heard in the villages. So this is the third one. Strong attachment to the customs and traditions. They are very strongly attached to their customs and traditions. As already we have seen that they are having faith in their duties and their responsibilities and high moral values. So the villagers' outlook is primarily conservative and they accept changes with extreme reluctance. So they will like stubborn, they will not accept any kind of changes initially, but slowly gradually they can improve themselves. So primarily they are very conservative and they will not accept changes, but if they will accept, it will be like after extreme reluctance. Then next one is poverty and literacy. The villagers are generally poor and they have low income as compared to city population. They take coarse food and put on rough clothes. Besides poverty, villagers are steeped in ignorance and illiteracy as there are less educational opportunities for children. Even the facility for higher education is nil in the village areas. Poverty makes the people of villages unable to send their children to city for education, and lack of education makes them to adopt latest techniques for increasing the production. So all this causes backwardness in villages. So this is another characteristic of village community. Then comes local self-government. This is another one. So they have their local government for their for governing their rights. So here the villagers manage their own affairs through the traditional institutions of panchayat. The villagers enjoys the autonomy of self-government. They are giving the autonomy of self-government. The panchayat system began to decline during British rule for the villagers. After independence, again fresh efforts are made to strengthen the panchayat system. So now we will going to learn regarding the panchayat system, that is basically seen in the village community only. So we'll see the panchayat system. Now we'll see, so here this is very important, National Panchayati Raj Day. We are celebrating every 24th of April every year. So on the 24th April every year we are celebrating National Panchayati Raj Day. So village panchayats play an important role in various aspects of the rural life. Organization, administration and progress of the rural society in India is very much based on the village panchayats. There are in fact pillars of the village social system. They have a rich background. These institutions were in existence in ancient India. It is said that these institutions existed even during Vedic period. T.M. Panikkar has pointed out that these panchayats are the only permanent basis of the ancient Indian history. These institutions has provided solid base to the prosperity of the community. According to the Dr. Altekar, the village panchayats in ancient India were responsible for various functions such as defense, such as collection of revenue, imposition of taxes, implementation of program of public welfare and so on. They were very important institutions of decentralized administration of power. So land reforms, cooperative panchayat raj and community development movements, they are supposed to be solid pillars on which a prosperous, dynamic and genuinely democratic rural social system is attempted to be built by the government of independent India. Panchayati Raj is also claimed as a real democratic political apparatus which would bring the masses into active political participation and also would establish a genuine political control from below from the vast majority of the weaker, poorer sections of the rural India. According to some, it will decentralize democracy. And Panchayat Raj are more than mere agencies or limbs of the state government. Their purpose is not achieved with carrying out the development programs and administrative tasks entrusted to them. They are organs of self-government at their respective levels. The functioning of Panchayat Raj has to be judged by the progress made towards achieving these vital objectives. So we will see now the objectives. By January 1957, every state had a Panchayat Act, and by September of that year, 73% of India's villages were covered by statutory panchayats with powers to enforce sanitation laws, to maintain the roads and protect the water supply. These were not autonomous bodies and their activities were checked by the state officials. Now, the panchayat system, what exactly the panchayat system is. So, the villagers manage their own affairs through the traditional institutions like panchayat. With the advent of Britishers in India and their introduction of a highly centralized system of administration, the importance of panchayat began to decline slowly, gradually, and the judicial powers were taken over by the British court, and the officers were appointed to look after the administrative affairs to the villages. These changes produced unpleasant results. Since the times of Lord Ripon, attempts were made to revive the old systems of village local self-government, but the progress was very slow in this direction. With the attainment of freedom, now fresh efforts are being made to strengthen the panchayat system and made panchayat play a better part in the work of national reconstruction. The 73rd Amendment Act in 1993 has laid the foundation of strong and vibrant Panchayat Raj institution in the country. Now we'll see the objectives of Panchayat. So these objectives shows that for this many aims the Panchayat is working. So the first objective of Panchayat is to provide village people an opportunity to discuss their problem. So Panchayat gives what? It gives the opportunity to discuss this problem. These institutions have been set up with the object of providing an opportunity to village people to discuss their problems. So they can come to the Panchayat, they can discuss their problems, and also they can arrive at some conclusion for their problems. These are the institutions which acts as forum for collective decision for the village people. Then the second objective for the Panchayat is to provide village people an opportunity to run their administration. So these institutions have been created with the object of providing an opportunity to village people to run and administer their own affairs in cooperation with one another. They give an opportunity to the village people to solve their problems according to the will of the people. So if you are having any kind of problem, you can go to the Panchayat. They will solve your problem, but they will ask your will. So if you are willing to go for the this option, you can go. So this is the opportunity that is given by the Panchayat only. Then the third objective is institution of local self-government for providing training in citizenship. Through these institutions, village people are able to learn the art of citizenship. They know the art of administration and also their rights and obligations as citizens. These institutions also provide an opportunity to village people to think about their problem and try to solve them. So this is the third one, institution of local self-government for providing training in the citizenship. Then the fourth objective is to provide an opportunity for rural reconstruction. Through these panchayats, village people get an opportunity to meet one another and discuss their problems of common interest. These creates new spirits and it generates new life with one another. These institutions also train the village people in the art of cooperation, and it gives the sympathy and working togetherness. They also provide them with an opportunity to involve themselves into the program of rural reconstruction. Then comes the main objectives of Panchayat Raj. So these are the main objectives of Panchayat Raj as laid down in third 5-year plan. These were as follow. So these are the objectives which were laid down in the third 5-year plan. So according to that, the first objective was increasing agricultural production. The second objective was development of rural industries. Third was fostering cooperative institution. Fourth objective was for utilization of local manpower and other resources. Fifth one was assisting the weaker sections of the community. Sixth was progressive dispersal of authority and initiative with emphasis on the role of voluntary organization. And the seventh was fostering cohesion and encouraging the spirit of self-help within the community. Then we'll see the programs under that. So the programs such as supply of credit, fertilizers, improved seeds, plant protection, minor irrigation, etc., for which major assistance has to come from outside, this is given by the Panchayat. Then programs such as digging field channels for utilizing irrigation from large projects, maintenance of bunds and fill channels, digging and maintaining the village tanks, development and utilization of local manurial resources, etc., which call for effort on the part of the village community or the beneficiaries. Now we shall briefly summarize the main functions of 3-tier system, that is at village level, block level and the district levels respectively. These being the general pattern, minor variation in the program of activities do exist in different states. So at the village level, the main functions of the Panchayat are what? So we'll see first for the village level. So these are the main functions for the Panchayat. So they'll provide what? Provision of water supply, maintenance of minor irrigation, school buildings, family planning, development and cooperation, and construction of wells and latrines for the village population. This is at the village level. Then reason for declining Panchayat Raj, how it is being declined. So the coming zamindari system, day by day, slowly, gradually the zamindari system has came into force. So the coming zamindari system is the reason for declining Panchayat Raj. Then establishment of police and judicial courts. So as compared to earlier, nowadays there are so many police and judicial courts are there established already. So this can be the reason of declining Panchayati Raj. Industrial development and consequent shifting of rural population to cities. So the industrial development also plays a major role here, and the people are shifting from the rural area to the city area. So that is the reason. And the impact of materialistic and individualistic tendencies. So these are the reasons for declining Panchayati Raj system. Now we'll see the functions of Panchayat. So the functions we can divide under the two sections, the essential functions and non-essential functions. Both functions are necessary, but the essential functions the Panchayat has to do as soon as possible. So firstly we'll see the essential functions that includes the first function is construction of village roads and provide for street lights. So the first and foremost function of Panchayat Raj, which is essential function, it has to construct the village roads and provide for street lights. Then the second function is extension of health services for the village people to door services. Then comes third one, look after the property of the Panchayat. Then the fourth one, maintain records of vital statistics. That means the ratios, mortality rate, morbidity rate, fertility rate, So these records are very important, and this is the function of panchayat. So mainly they will have the vital statistics like birth rates, death rates, marriage ratios, the fertility rates, the mortality rates, morbidity rates. These all are the vital statistics which gives the statistics for the particular time of period. So this is the maintaining record is very important, which is by the panchayat. Then fifth one is organize mela, any kind of exhibition, any film shows on any kind of a topic. So these are the essential functions. And then last one is to provide facilities for primary and adult education. So these all are the essential functions for the panchayat. Seventh function is development of agriculture. This is also the essential function. Then eighth is providing facilities for safe drinking water. Then make provision for better quality manure and seeds. Then 10th is prevention of communicable diseases. 11 maternal and child welfare services. And 12 sanitation of the village. So these all are the essential functions of the panchayat. Now we'll see the non-essential functions. In that, the first one is establishment of cooperative societies in the village, development of cottage industries, teaching new techniques of agriculture. And third, organizing sports, games and other recreational activities. Fourth, improve the quality of animals and provide facilities for treatment of animals. Fifth, relief work at the time of famine, flood, etc. and providing library and reading room facilities to the people. The sixth is providing facilities of radio, television, etc. at some common place where they can unite together and they can entertain themselves and improve the social school work. So panchayat system at village level has panchayat, gram sabha, and all the adults of village are there, and they have the proposal of taxation, discusses the annual program, elects members of the gram panchayat. So this is the function of gram sabha. And then gram panchayat. Gram panchayat has the executive members of gram sabha, that is headed by the sarpanch as the president, assisted by vice presidents, and that is known as panchayat secretary. Civic administration including sanitation and public health, social and economic development of village. Then comes panchayat samiti. So sarpanches of village panchayat forms the panchayat samiti. There they have MLAs and MPs residing in the block level, representatives of women, SC, ST and cooperative societies, block development officer and ex officio secretary of panchayat, execution of community development program in the block. And then comes Zilla Parishad. All heads of panchayat samiti in the district, they also have MPs and MLAs of the particular district, representation of women, SC and SC, ST caste category, 2 persons experienced in administration, administrative functions and health related activities. Deficient in funds and authorities, the panchayats in most states were largely inactive until the late 1970s. However, efforts were then initiated to reinvigorate the panchayats. In 1989, Rajiv Gandhi took 2 major initiatives designed to enhance the panchayat's role in local government and economic development. It initiated the Jawahar Employment Plan, that is Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, which provided funding directly to the village councils to create jobs for the unemployed through the public work projects. Rajiv Gandhi's government also proposed the 64th Amendment Bill to make it mandatory for all the states to establish a 3-tiered, that is village, block and district level systems of panchayat in which representatives would be directly elected for 5 years term. Panchayats were given expanded authority and funding over local development efforts. So this is all about panchayat. Now we'll see the social dynamics. So in that, community development project and planning come. Community development has been defined by Barkett Narain in 1961 as, so this is the definition of community development project. So basically this is a process designed to create conditions of economic and social progress for the whole community with its active participation and the fullest possible reliance upon the community's initiative. This is community development. According to United Nations, that is UN, community development has been defined as, so this is the definition which is given by United Nations. It is a process by which the efforts of people themselves are united with those of governmental authorities to improve economic, social and cultural conditions of communities, to integrate those communities with the life of nation and to enable them to contribute fully to national progress. This is what community development is according to United Nations. With an outgrowth of missionary and voluntary efforts, the Indian Community Development Program has mainly 4 objectives. So these objectives are, the first objective is to assist the villages in planning and carrying out integrated multi-phase family and village plans directed towards increasing agricultural production. Second is to improve the health practices. Third is to provide the required educational facility for children and adult education programs for village women and youth. And the fourth one is to provide recreational facilities. So these all are the main 4 objectives for the Indian Community Development Program. Now, Community Development Program. In 1952, a beginning was made during first 5-year plan to involve the rural population in the process of planning their own welfare measures. On the 2nd October 1952, a Community Development Program was launched. So this question can be asked, Community Development Program was launched when it is launched? So it is on 2nd October 1952. This was for the all-round development of the rural areas. This program was held as a program of people, for people and by people. So this program is held as a program for mainly 3. The first is of the people, second is for the people, and the third is by the people. So this is the basic concept of this program: of the people, for the people and by the people. This program was to exterminate the 3 ills. These 3 ills are poverty, second is disease, and third is illiteracy. Under the Community Development Program, the rural areas were organized into community development blocks. So now we'll see the stages of development of block. So in the development of block, there are basically 2 stages. In this stage 1, intensive development stage, it is of 1 to 5 years, and during this stage, funds provided are rupees 12 lakh by the central government. And in this stage 2, further of 5 years, and funds are provided are rupees 5 lakhs. In the post stage 2, at the end of 10 years, block enters this phase, and now the financial responsibility is of the state government only. So this is how the development of block happens. There are 2 stages. In the first stage, intensive development occurs, which is of 1 to 5 years, and in these stage the fund is provided for 12 lakhs by the central government. Then comes stage 2. So stage 2 has 2 parts, stage 2 and the post stage 2. So in the stage 2, further 5 years will be added and the fund will be provided for 5 lakhs. And in the post stage 2, at the end of 10 years, the block enters into this phase. So financial responsibility is now will be on the state government only. So this is about the stages of development of block. Integrated Rural Development Program. So this already we have seen in the key terms, IRDP, Integrated Rural Development Program. This was launched in April 1978 and its purpose was to eliminate poverty, to improve the quality of life of rural people who are poor. Target families for IRDP, that is Integrated Rural Development Program. Agricultural laborers, small cultivators, village artisans and craftsmen. Then support provided under IRDP. So the people of target families were provided the support, resources and skills. They gives bank loans and subsidies by the government. So this is the support which is provided under the IRDP to the people. Implementation. So IRDP is being implemented through District Rural Development Agency, that is DRDA. During 9th 5-year plan, it was implemented through an integrated approach under the existing schemes. So these are the schemes: training of rural youth for self-employment, that is TRYSEM. T is for training, R is for rural, Y is for youth, S is for self, E is for employment. This EM is for employment. So this is TRYSEM, TRYSEM. So this is the existing scheme, training of rural youth for self-employment. Then comes supply of improved toolkits to rural artisans. So that is S is for supply, I is for improved, T is for toolkits, R is for rural and A is for artisan. So supply of improved toolkits to rural artisans. Then comes development of women and children in rural areas, that is DWCRA. This is CITRA, CSITRA. This is DWCRA. Here also D is for development, W stands for women, C stands for children, I stands for rural and A stands for area. So that is development of women and children in rural areas. And the last is GKY, that is Ganga Kalyan Yojana. G stands for Ganga, K stands for Kalyan, Y stands for Yojana, that is GKY. So these are the existing schemes under the IRDP. Now we will see the changes in Indian rural life. So there has been so many changes in the Indian rural life. The change is natural in human communities, that we all know, like if it is in the rural, whether it is in the urban community. The village community changes at a slower rate as compared to the urban community. The changes which can be seen in rural community are, we'll see one by one. So the first change which is seen in the rural community or the village community is family system. The peculiar characteristics of village community is joint family system, which is losing its importance. So nowadays that family system is changing. So the joint family system is not existing anymore in the village itself, and nuclear family have taken the place of joint family system in the village communities also nowadays. So this is the first changes in the rural system or in the village system, that is family system. The second change in the village community is marriage system. The changes we have which have occurred in marriage systems are intercaste marriages. So nowadays people are doing intercaste marriages, but still it is in the rare case. Qualities of mate in education, beauty, appearance and economic pursuit given preferences. Low expenditure on marriages they are doing. Less rituals are performed on the marriages as compared to old marriage system. Child marriage system is no more prevalent in the village communities nowadays. So this is according to the marriage system in the village communities. Then the third change for the village community is caste system. So the caste system in the village has lost its hold, that is not so much stronger nowadays. The restrictions under caste system related to mode of living, dress up, etc. are removed. So slowly, gradually they are changing, and the caste system, the classification according to the caste system has lost its hold, and it is not so much the people are not so much harsh on the basis of caste. So that casteism is slowly, gradually it is decreasing, and the restrictions which they are having to the mode of living, how should they dress up, these all are removed, or the restrictions are removed in that system. Then next change is living standard. The living standards of villagers have gradually gone higher as compared to the previous timings. Presently, dress worn is urbanized suits. So nowadays they are wearing urbanized suits as pants by boys and skirts, jeans, etc. by jeans. So presently the dress worn is urbanized suits, like boys are wearing pants and girls are wearing skirts and jeans and etc. Use of heavy artificial ornaments, they are not having so much use of heavy ornaments nowadays. Construction of pakka houses, well ventilated and skill furnished, they are having use of gas for cooking in place of coal, wood and kerosene. So in the previous years they were using coal and wood and kerosene in the primus and in the gas system or the stove system for the cooking purpose, but nowadays it has been taken place by the cooking or by the that gas system. So nowadays it is being decreased. Proper drainage and sewerage system, and opening of schools and institutes for providing education to villagers. So in previously we have seen that there were no proper drainage lines or the sewage systems, so the people were going for the latrine in the outer open door areas, so that was very unhygienic. But nowadays they are having proper drainage system and the sewage system, so they are going for the latrines, and for that drainage system they are having some facilities. Then comes opening of schools and institutes for providing education to villagers. In the previous times there was no so many schools or the institutes to provide education to their children, but nowadays so many schools and so many institutions are opening in that area, so that they can provide education to their children. Then ceiling fans in place of hand fans. In previous years there was hand fan, so they are having hand fans for the having fan purpose, but nowadays ceiling fans are also available in the village community. So this is about living standard. Then comes economic system. The change related to economic system include increased production with use of new methods and new scientific instruments. So nowadays they are having increased production, they are adapting new methods, they are having knowledge of new scientific instruments, so they are adapting it. Then more banks have been opened for their benefits, and establishment of rural cooperative societies, financial assistance by government. So the government is giving the financial assistance to the economical people. So this is for the economic system for the village community. Then comes political system. The villagers are now conscious about the political system due to media, such as they are having newspaper nowadays at their homes, they are having radios, they are having televisions nowadays, even they are having mobile phones in every houses. So this media system is very important. So the villagers or the village people, they are also conscious about the political system. So the politics of country has made up deep roots into the peaceful life of the village people. So this is about political system. This is also changing in the village community. So this is all about the changes in rural Indian rural life. So till here we have studied the village community and the objectives, the social dynamics, the Panchayati Raj system, and the Indian rural life changes, that which are the changes comes under the Indian rural villages. So this is all about today. Thank you.